Welcome to the presentation for the new employee orientation. I'm the Administrative Assistant at the Retirement Trust Office. This presentation is for non-uniform city employees regarding your pension benefit. The presentation will include information on your contributions, eligibility, and retirement options. To start, at the top of the page is the name of the plan. This is the City of El Paso Employees Retirement Trust. The type of plan is a defined benefit plan, a 401A. There's a couple of things that you should understand about a defined benefit plan. In our plan, in retirement, your benefit will not zero out. You will receive a monthly benefit for the rest of your life, unlike a defined contribution plan, such as a 401k, which can act as an annuity, and an annuity can zero out. Also in this plan, your contributions are not affected by the market. What you put in is what you'll get out. And depending how much service credit you have, service credit is the amount of time that you've been paying into the plan, you can potentially receive more than what you put in. Our office is located at 1039 Chelsea Street in El Paso, Texas 79903. You can reach us directly at area code 915-212-0112. There are 2 tiers to our plan. Your participation date determines your tier. Employees whose participation date is on or after September 1st of 2011 are part of Tier 2. This presentation will cover the vesting requirements for Tier 2. All the vesting requirements that are part of Tier 2 are also part of Tier 1. Participation in the plan is mandatory and automatic for all regular full-time employees. It is important that you confirm that you're contributing into the plan. If you don't see a deduction into the pension plan on your pay stub, you should speak with the payroll clerk in your city department. Contribution for regular part-time and some contract employees is optional. Those employers must make an election whether to participate or not at the time of their initial employment, and that election will be applied to all future part-time employment in any city department. The only time that a part-time employee who chose not to participate can begin contributing into the plan is if they were to accept a full-time position where participation is mandatory. If you were participating in the plan prior to September 1st of 2011, and at the time that you separated from the city, you received a refund of your contributions, it is important that you contact the Retirement Trust because there are certain pension-related deadlines that are associated with your rehire. You do have the option to buy back your service credit. You must notify us of your intent to buy back. In our office, you would speak with the benefits technician or benefits specialist, and again, you could reach us at 212-0112. In a pension plan, both the employee and the employer contribute. The employer for our plan is the City of El Paso. They contribute 14.05% of a worker's biweekly gross earnings. Those contributions are set aside into a pool of funds, which are invested on your behalf. Returns from those investments generate an income for the worker upon their retirement. Employees as of September 1st of 2014 contribute 8.95% of their biweekly gross earnings. Those contributions as of the last paycheck in May of 2007 are made on a pre-tax basis, which is a tax benefit as it reduces your taxable income. When you're paying into the plan, you're earning service credit. Service credit is important because it's part of the calculation we use to calculate your monthly retirement benefit. There might be times that you're not paying into the plan, such as when you're on leave without pay, and you'll have gaps in your service credit. You can choose to pay into the plan while you're on leave without pay, but you would have to cover both your portion and the city's portion, which is a total of 23% of your biweekly gross earnings prior to going on leave. If you were to pay this after, your payment may also be subject to interest. You'll notice that there's a big optional stamp on this page. We want you to know that this is not mandatory. This is your choice. I had mentioned before that what you paid into the plan is what you get out. Whenever you separate from the city, you can choose to receive a refund of your contributions. It doesn't matter if you terminate or you resign. You would receive a refund of what you paid into the plan, just what you paid, that total of 8.95%. You are not entitled to a refund of the city's contributions. If you have less than 7 years of service credit, you will receive a refund of what you paid into the plan. If you have 7 years or more of service credit, you'll receive a refund of what you paid, plus 3% interest, which is compounded annually. If you're not planning to stay long enough to retire from the city, you can treat this plan like an amazing savings account. Because if you have 7 years or more of service credit, you can choose to leave your contributions in the fund and they will continue to accrue interest until you decide to withdraw them. If you have less than 7 years of service credit, you can also choose to leave your contributions in the fund, but at no point will they begin to accrue interest. Another thing to keep in mind when receiving a refund If a refund is paid directly to you, you will be taxed 20%, and if you're under 59 and a half years old, it will be considered an early distribution of a pension benefit, so you'll be taxed an additional 10% when you file your income tax. If you are planning to retire from the city, retirement isn't that far away. You only have to be 45 years of age with 7 years of service credit to meet the minimum requirement, aside from a job-related disability. We consider this type of retirement an early retirement. In retirement, you will receive a monthly benefit for the rest of your life. In a defined benefit plan, there's a formula that we use to calculate your benefit. For Tier 2, it's 2.25% times your service credit. Remember, that's the amount of time that you've been paying into the plan, times your final wages. For Tier 1, that formula is a little different. It's 2.5% times your service credit times your final wages. You will receive additional service credit for any unused sick leave. For every 22 days of unused sick leave, you will receive an additional month of service credit. All that unused sick leave will be applied towards your service credit. Additionally, you can use up to 6 months of unused sick leave toward meeting the vesting requirements for retirement. For example, I had mentioned before that an early retirement is 45 years of age with 7 years of service credit. If you have at least 6 months of unused sick leave, all you really need of earned credit is 6 years, 6 months, as long as you're at least 45 years of age, to qualify for an early retirement. That 6 months of unused sick leave credit can be applied to your other retirement options. There's an age in service retirement. You have to be at least 60 years of age with 7 years of service credit, or 35 years of service credit at any age. Again, an early retirement, you would have to be 45 years of age with 7 years of service credit. However, a reduction factor will be applied, which means your monthly benefit in early retirement will be less than an age in service benefit. If you want to reduce or eliminate that reduction factor, you can defer your retirement, which means at the time that you separate from the city, as long as you qualify for an early retirement, you would complete your retirement application, but you would not begin collecting a benefit until you turn age 60. Another option is a disability retirement option. If you're hurt on the job, there's no minimum age or service credit requirement, and you would receive at least $250 per month. If it's non-job related, there is no minimum age requirement, but you do have to have at least 7 years of service credit. To qualify for disability retirement, you must be permanently disabled from your job or some similar job which you are qualified for. With any type of retirement, an age in service, early, deferred, or disability, you do have 30 days from your last date of employment to complete your retirement application. In retirement, you will receive a monthly benefit. Your pension benefit will be subject to income tax. As contributions were made pre-tax, you will have to pay taxes. We will only withhold federal income tax. We do not withhold state tax, not even for New Mexico, and there is no state tax in Texas. Aside from a benefit for you, there are also survivors' benefits. Those benefits differ for employees and retirees. As an employee, a lump sum payment would automatically be paid to your spouse if you were to pass away. If you do not have a spouse, then that lump sum payment would be made to your children. If none of those situations apply to you, then a payment would be made to your designated beneficiary. During the new employer orientation, you completed a form to designate a beneficiary to receive a lump sum payment of your contributions. That form is filed with the city's HR department. It is important to keep it up to date. For retirees, if at the time that you completed your retirement application, depending what option you chose, your spouse can potentially receive a monthly benefit for the rest of their life or remarriage, or a qualified beneficiary can also potentially receive a monthly benefit as long as they remain qualified. A qualified beneficiary is a dependent who's under the age of 19 and unmarried or disabled. If none of those situations apply to you in retirement, then a lump sum payment would be made to your estate. Another way to qualify for retirement is through the Proportionate Retirement Program. As of July 1st of 2000, the Retirement Trust has participated in the Proportionate Retirement Program. We refer to that as the PRP. The PRP allows for the transfer of service credit from one participating plan to another, and it is limited to service credit towards meeting the vesting requirements in participating plans. All the participating plans are listed on your screen, and they're all in the state of Texas, including the City of El Paso Employees Retirement Trust. What the PRP allows you to do, it allows you to combine your service credit from the plans that you're participating in in order to qualify for retirement. For example, let's say an employee works for the Teachers Retirement System, the TRS. Let's say that employee has 5 years of service credit. As long as that employee is at least 45 years of age, they would only need an additional 2 years here with the city to qualify for an early retirement, because we would combine the 5 years they have with TRS with the 2 years that they earned here to equal the 7 years of service credit required for an early retirement. There's a couple things to keep in mind if you're planning to participate in the proportionate retirement program. In that example, I did not take into account the requirements to retire from TRS. If you're going to participate in the PRP, you would retire from all the plans that you're participating in simultaneously. Going back to the example, that employee would also have to qualify for some sort of retirement with the TRS. Also, when we calculate your monthly benefit, we're only going to use the service credit that you earned here with the city. Going back to that example, the formula, if that employee is in Tier 2, would be 2.25% times the 2 years of service credit that they earned here with the city times their final wages. Since you're watching this presentation, you've obviously found our website. There's a couple of things though that I want to explain about our site. Since we're not a city department, you're not going to find a link to our site from the city's webpage. You can either enter the address directly, which is eppension.org, or you will find a link on the My El Paso page under the I'm Looking For button. All non-uniform city employees who are participating in the plan are considered participants, and there is a page dedicated to our participants on our website. When you click on your page, you'll find frequently asked questions, but you'll also find a PDF of this presentation. Again, this presentation is called the New Employee Orientation, and it's abbreviated on our site as the NEO presentation. It's available in both English and Spanish. On the top right-hand corner of every page, you'll see the Benefits Calculator button. When you click on that button, after accepting the disclaimer, you'll be able to get an estimate using the Benefits Calculator. The calculator is a great tool that's actually used by our benefits technicians when employees call in to get a quick estimate. Make sure that you complete all fields and you input the minimum requirements of 45 years of age with 7 years of service credit in order to get an estimate. Thank you for watching the New Employee Orientation presentation. If you have any questions, you can reach us directly at 915-212-0112.